Introducing the Greenhouse with your host, Biggs or Balls.
Boom! And this week you've got Dorsey for episode 23 of The Greenhouse, where we run through AEW Elevation Dark and AEW Elevation. If you haven't watched last week's episode, you should, of The Greenhouse, that is. I watched it this morning before I started this, and it was Angry Bigsy, and it was hilarious. For the simple reasons that, once again, well, basically, here's two straws. As you can see, one is longer than the other. That one is obviously mine because Bigsy, here you go. Here's the short straw. Because last week, again, he had like an hour and 40-minute dark and a 45-minute elevation. And this week it was 36 minutes for elevation and an hour and 9 minutes for dark, which is a little bit better for me. So, get it, Biggs. In a Nelson-style Simpsons laugh. Ha ha! So, yeah, this is episode 23, my turn, the phenomenal one, your co-host of the Real Wrestling Show Dash blog, as always, when I'm doing the blog, because he's probably in work. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on with it. First up, we had Elevation. As I said, this is the Greenhouse, this is episode 23, and we are the Real Wrestling Show Dash blog, and I am the phenomenal Dorsey, your co-host for this week. It was a Martin Luther King Day, just a side note, and they did put it up on AEW right at the beginning. Match number 1 was Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty versus JR Miller and Marcus Cross. Border stretch submission gets the win while Sydal hits the lightning spiral on the other guy to stop him from breaking up the cover. Okay match build for Lee Moriarty, really. I mean, Sydal's being used as that veteran trainer / teacher, which is, suits him. I mean, he is capable of doing more, but, he's happy, company's happy, I'm happy. Match number 2 was Ty Conti versus Amira. Amira making an AEW debut. Modified Bossman Slam by Ty was beast. Ty KO. Ty wins. Ty man of the match. Decent match for a short one. Okay debut for Amira. She sold well, and a decent build for Ty. Match number 3 was JB Cole, and there's an advert on YouTube. That shit. Go skip. Me and Big C, best friends. Match number 3 was JB Cole and TIM. Can we just call him Tim? I agree with you, Taz. Versus Austin and Colton Gunn. Colt 45 by Colton. Gun Club win. Colton man of the match. Colton was very impressive in this match. He reminded me a lot of his dad, which he hasn't in the past, but he seems to be moving more of a bigger wrestler rather than a high-flying wrestler in this match, and I noticed it big time, and it suits him, so I hope he does stick with that. But it was a great match, just build for the Ass Boys, really. Then we had nice to see match number 4, Frankie Kazarian versus LeBron Lizone. Or Lizore. Sorry about that, I've scribbled that a bit. Not sure. Beastie middle rope leg drop. Double knees, then a crossface chicken wing by Kaz. Kaz wins. Kaz man of the match. Always nice to see Kaz on any show because he's just a sick wrestler. Decent outing by the green one. Decent match overall. Which it would be because Kaz was in it. Book him more AEW and give him a push. Because he deserves it. Match number 5. Kenzie Page versus Ruby Soho. No future by Ruby Soho. Soho wins. Kenzie man of the match though. A decent match. Built for Soho. Kenzie was very impressive. Sold well. The moves she did were good. She just looked like a good wrestler really. So yeah. Match number 6 was Chase Amori and Patrick Scott versus Private Party. Modified poetry in motion using a drop kick instead of the running side kick, which was nice by Gin and Juice by Private Party. Gin and Juice and a one-fingered pin by Private Party. Private Party win. Cassidy man of the match. Shit match, just billed for Private Party. Again, I've lost all. I think the House of Hardy, the only ones that have actually made anything out of it is Butcher and Blade and the Bunny. Everyone else is sort of like gone down in my estimation, in my personal opinion. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I didn't rate that match, and I'm not really enjoying Private Party at the moment. JD Full versus Alexander Moss was your Dark Elevation main event of the evening. We had a backbreaker, flatliner combo, macho elbow, but Moss kicked out the two, which I was surprised at. I gotta be fair. A decent spinning backdrop by Moss. Lethal injection by Jay. Jay wins. Jay man of the match. Decent match. Built for Jay. Average show. Alexander Moss was alright. There was a few botches in that main event, but yeah, overall it was okay for 36 minutes. I could deal with it, but at the same time, if it's only 36 minutes and you've got 7 matches on it, and they advertise it beforehand, like Elevation with over 7 matches on it, you can see the time limit on it, unless you're watching it live, and it kind of like makes you think, well, 7 matches in 36 minutes, there's not going to be too many great matches on there, is there? But yeah, it was alright for Elevation, 36 minutes. I enjoyed it. When they were only 36 minutes, it's more enjoyable. Moving on to Dark, which was an hour and 9 minutes. Not an hour and 45 like Big C's was, but an hour and 9 minutes. Match number 1 was Adam Cole versus Khan, who impressed me the first time I seen him. Nice leaping enziguri by Adam Cole. Super kick by Cole gets 2. Khan counters the Panama Sunrise with a backdrop. Cole hits the boom later on in the match. Cole wins. Cole man of the match. Khan impressive again. Build for Cole. Good match. Tony interviews Cole in the ring. Cole tells Tony to get out of my ring. This is Staten Orange saying that, how are you going to win against me and Britt? We are the best of all time. Basically, as a power couple. And do you know what? He ain't like, maybe he ain't right, but he ain't far off wrong. Britt Baker's on fire and Adam Cole's just beast in the ring for me. So yeah, looking forward to that. Obviously hype for Dynamite. Match number 2 was Bison XL and Laren T's X versus Austin and Colton Gunn. I'm with Big C. This AEW debut tag team bullshit. I ain't doing it. I'm only going to tell you from now on if it's debut, if it's singles match, and it says their AEW debut. And even then, like Big C said, you might be wrong because they rename them, or they rename themselves and then it's their debut again. So, yeah, it's a bit pointless. Anyway, nice backdrop front slam by Colton, then a powerbomb neckbreaker by Gun Club. Gun Club win. Colton man of the match, decent match. Colton again, very impressive, seems bigger, like I said in the previous match on Elevation. Build for the Ass Boys is what it is. Match number 3 was Catalina Perez versus Layla Hirsch. Nice gut wrench suplex by Hirsch. Wheelbarrow German on the counter. Then a running knee by Hirsch. Hirsch wins. Hirsch man of the match. Decent match. Build for Hirsch. Bit of story with the commentary talking about. And Layla Hirsch acting a bit more heelish again. Match number 4 was Liam Cross versus Lance Archer. Blackout. Then EBD Claw. Archer wins. Archer man of the match. Squash match. The Archer monster build is restarting, ready for the Hangman beef. So expect a lot more of those matches every week on Dark Elevation and maybe even creeping onto Dynamite or Rampage. Liam Gray and Adrian Alanis versus Varsity Blondes was match number 5. Multiple moves by the Varsity Blondes, which looked decent. Then a jackhammer by Pillman. Why he's doing a jackhammer? Not saying like, oh, he's disrespecting Goldberg, because I don't give a fuck Goldberg and fuck Vince, but like Brian Pillman isn't really the type of guy I see doing a jackhammer and making that much of an impact, unfortunately. I mean, it looks okay, but it doesn't look like a jackhammer that finishes the match for me. Varsity Blondes win, Pillman man of the match, average match, build for the Varsity Blondes and story going into Dynamite with the House of Black. Also, commentary touching on the fact that Julia Hart hasn't quite been the same, so expect the screw job on Dynamite. I think, she's joining the House of Black. Me and Biggsy spoke about it before. I think he was the one who actually pointed that out for once. He was ahead of me. But Tony interviews the Varsity Blondes. They're fed up with the lights going out, blah, blah, blah. Bit of a stale promo, nothing too much in it. No, it wasn't a bad promo, but it didn't really get me up off my seat or anyone I would expect. Match number 6, Red Velvet versus Viperous. Nice roll through slam by Viperous. Then a Michinoku driver gets 2. Final slice by Red Velvet. Red Velvet wins. Red Velvet man of the match. Good match by both. Velvet looking awesome at the moment. And a nice build for Red Velvet. Fair play. I like Red Velvet. She's looking really good in the ring now every time. She's definitely come along really well. And that's one of the good things about Dark Elevation. People like Red Velvet, who we never heard of before or never saw before. For me, is having a good go with it. So yeah. Next up, we had Robin Renegade versus Sky Blue. Charlotte Renegade intervenes. Robin hits a spinebuster, which was nice. Later on in the match, flatliner by Blue. Blue wins. Blue man of the match. An okay match. Build for Sky going into the match with Deeb. And just build for Sky in general, because she's a neat little wrestler. I quite like her. Good little signing. She still needs to be on Dark and Elevation every week. But I do think she could have a good go with Serena Deeb. If she's going to have a good showing, then if there's going to be anyone to do it with, for me, it's Serena Deeb. Next up, we have match number 8. Tiffany Neves versus Anna Jay with -1. Anna big kick, Queen Slayer, Anna wins, Anna man of the match, squash match, but build for Anna Jay, just to keep her getting the wins up. Match number 9. Match number 9, we had Daniel Garcia versus Anthony Green. 2.0 intervene, allowing Garcia the advantage. Vertical tilt-a-wheel slam by Green was nice, then a Dr. Bomb. Beastie submission by Garcia, like a whip abdominal stretch sort of thing. Garcia wins. Green man of the match for me. A good match. A decent lineup as well, because obviously Anthony Green has been on WWE and a bit of independence. He's got a little bit of a hype, so is Garcia being built from nowhere. So yeah, I thought that was a nice lineup, which me and Big C talked about being nice on Dark and Elevation. Match number 10. Bear Country versus Brandon Bullock. Not Bollocks, Bullock. And James Ryan. Bronson hits a nice spinebuster. Double cannonball in the corner by Bear Country. Bear Country win. Bronson man of the match. Pointless squash match, but build for Bear Country. But yeah, it didn't really need to be on there. Then we had your Dark main event of the evening, which was Peter Varablon and JD Drake versus Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. Bossman slam by Drake was nice. Step up round by Orange with his hands in his pocket was beast. Steady Mulhauer German combo. Standing Slim Dog Millionaire German combo. It was nice by the best friends. Nemeth catches a swinging DDT running into the ring. Orange punch. Orange and Yuta win. Orange Cassidy man of the match for me. Decent match. Build for the best friends. Obviously Avalon and JD Drake have kind of fallen into that pentacle role. I know they're not really going to win unless they're fighting nobodies. Yeah, it was alright. Dark again was a bit long. A lot of matches that didn't need to be on there. I understand people need to get ring time, but you need to put them on every week. I mean, you can still pre-record them and maybe not record as many another week, or save them for when you actually start an AEW style network and you've got the dark matches we didn't see and stuff like that maybe. But yeah, it wasn't too bad this week overall. An hour and, well, just under 2 hours for both shows, which I can deal with. Yeah. So that was it. Green Elevation this week, pretty decent. Last week's episode, you should watch Angry Bigsy on a Rant. That's funny as fuck. Watch the Real Wrestling Show Dash blog, where we do the main shows of Dynamite, Rampage, and any pay-per-views. Other stuff on the channels. As you've seen at the beginning of this video and all our videos, don't be alone. There are people out there, if you're suffering with mental health issues, feeling lonely or anything like that. I've been your host, the phenomenal Dozy. Next week, you'll have this confused looking man. And we'll also be doing the Real Wrestling Show Dash blog. Check that out when we are back on at least the same screens. Check us out. Check out the channel. Peace, peeps. Have a good one. Take care. Be safe.